The NFL is killing the film industry. And no one's really talking about it. Not the unions, not the studios, definitely not filmmakers. And if you've been struggling to find work, this might be the culprit. Now you may be thinking, what the hell does the NFL have to do with the film industry? Let's jump into it. Now, if you don't know, the NFL as a business is a very, very successful business. In 2024, they grossed about $23 billion, not million, billion. And they're looking to surpass $25 billion in 2027. Now, I may be a creative and I may be a filmmaker, I may be in the arts, but I do still love me some sports. I like baseball and I definitely like football. I am originally from Buffalo, and if you are born in Buffalo, it's like a must. You must be a Bills fan. So yes, I am a Bills fan and I do like watching football, and plus I have fantasy leagues, so I am definitely ingrained into what the NFL is doing and what's happening in the football world. Now let's talk about the NFL's income streams for a second. And this goes way further than just the stadiums, the naming rights to the stadium, and putting butts in seats and selling tickets and food and concessions and all that stuff. There's also merchandising, licensing, all of that apparel, uniforms, all that stuff, jerseys, all of that is a big chunk. Then you have the global expansion that's happening right now when they have games in like London and other different places overseas. But outside of all of that, their largest revenue stream, their largest source of income is going to be the media rights. They have contracts with CBS, Fox, ESPN, Amazon Prime. Over 11 years, it's $110 billion that the NFL is going to get. And you might be asking, what does that have to do with the film industry? Now, a lot of those companies, if you are really putting two and two together, those companies own studios or are owned by studios that also own a lot of production companies and studios that are making original content. And this is all changed in recent years, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Now, to be clear, the film industry is not struggling only because of the NFL. There are a number of different things that are happening. It has been a lot of different factors that are affecting the film industry as a whole. Obviously, these strikes in 2023 with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA. Now this year, thank God, they came to a 4-year deal. The 4-year is an odd thing because they usually do it every 3 years, but the WGA gave in to 4 years. So that's something that's strange to happen with the 2026 deal. But either way, there will be no writer's strike this year. So the strikes of 2023 definitely affected what was happening. But also what was happening is that the studios and everyone who had a stream platform smartened up. They realized they didn't have enough money. They were just like throwing money at original content. And they're like, wait a minute, we can't sustain this, and the stream bubble has burst. Then we have productions moving overseas because the wage increasing and filmmaking not really being in these centralized locations, it all spreading out. So things have massively changed in the film industry. So if you are feeling the sting of this, you are not alone. I am feeling this as well. TV and film production has fallen 30% since 2022, and that is before the writer's strike. So it was decreasing even before the strikes were happening. Production days are down 16% year over year, and TV pilots are down 60%. The pilot season is slowly, quietly dying away, and no one really talks about it. Or maybe some people are, but I miss pilot season because I knew by March things were coming up, and now that just doesn't happen anymore. Production is down, and people are asking a lot of questions. They're blaming the fact that productions are moving overseas, which that is part of it for the US and Canada, but also production has been down for the UK as well. And then there's other sections of people who are blaming the A-list actors because they make millions and millions of dollars, but keep in mind that that is like 1% of actors. That is not every movie that is ever made. So we can't strictly just blame overseas, and we can't just blame the A-list actors. So who is to blame? I'm going to blame online sports betting.
Wait, what?
Wait a second. What does online sports betting have to do with the film industry? What you need to know about online sports betting is that online sports betting was legalized in 2018, and you're like, well, that might not match up with what's happening now. But once it was legalized, it took people a little while to jump on the trend, and now it's actually quite wild, all the things you can bet on. And I don't even want to get into the things that you can bet on. People, like, there's a whole thing about betting on the Gatorade at the Super Bowl, things like that. And I can't even get into the stats. Because online betting was legalized recently, and now it is very, very big, more and more viewers are watching sports. And that's where the NFL comes into play. Because more and more people are watching, because they have more skin in the game, more and more platforms are going to be fighting for the game rights for the NFL. And NBA and MLB. So the NFL is not the only ones as far as the games that they're fighting over. This is where the money is going. Online sports betting is legal in 30 US states. Tens of millions of people are betting, and over 50 million Americans bet on the Super Bowl. These people are betting. They are going to watch and probably to the end of the game. So more games, more viewership, more advertising dollars, the money's going to be rolling in. The eyeballs that are going to be watching the games, those same eyeballs are not going to be watching live scripted television. It is no mistake that the increase of viewership for the games directly correlates with the decrease in viewership of live television and anything that's streaming live. It's like pulling teeth trying to get people to watch the Emmys and the Oscars and stuff like that, those award shows. And also late night television and anything on TV that used to be you just turn on the TV and watch it. It has to be available everywhere else because live viewership is just not where it's at for TV and film. So let's talk about the rights and how much each platform or network is paying for NFL rights. ESPN ABC is paying $2.7 billion a year. Fox is paying $2.2 billion. CBS is paying $2.1 billion. NBC is $2 billion. Amazon is $1 billion. Now that totals over $100 billion through 2033. Then you have YouTube with $14 billion for the Sunday Ticket and Amazon $11 billion deal. And that money doesn't come from just nowhere. It's not like you're pulling money out of the sky. So all these companies are connected, and that is probably the main problem because every production company, studio is owned by a bigger company, and that company is owned by a bigger conglomerate, and they're all connected. And because those companies are going to want to buy the sports rights, and they're getting more and more expensive because the NFL knows they can do that, and they're all competing for like finite number of games. So that means more money is going into the sports rights and less money is going into films, TV shows, development, and film crews. The NFL film rights are increasing by $6 billion per year. They are gobbling up all the money that they can, and I think someone has to do something about it. There's got to be a cap. I think a really good idea is that we get the owners of all these companies together. They get together in a room, they have a meeting, they're like, okay guys, the NFL rights are getting out of hand. We have to stop the NFL. We have to all agree that we're not going past this number. I know that's not going to happen, but that's my pie in the sky, like hopes and dreams is there's got to be an end to it. When does it end? When does the NFL stop squeezing all the companies? When I bring this to our level, the people who are working in film, how does this affect us? There's less jobs. There's more competition trying to get those jobs. There are lower wages. The producers are going to try and skimp where they can, save those dollars. The studios are, I've heard of multiple shows, for example, HBO going to a show that is probably on episode 5 of 8 and telling them, okay, you have to cut your budget by 20%. So that is a really down-to-earth example of how it affects people from day to day. So what's happening in film right now, it is not just because of the strikes. It's not because A-list actors are just gobbling up all the money. And it's not because everything's going overseas. There is less work overall globally. And sports. I'm blaming sports, but I like sports, so I'm very torn. The irony of this all is that I am a Bills fan, and I swear to God, it doesn't matter. There's always a way that I'm missing the game. I'm not sure why, because even if it's on like ESPN, ABC, YouTube TV, and the Bills are playing some, I don't know, like Cleveland or something, and I can't see it in my area because I don't currently live in Buffalo, I still have to buy the NFL Sunday Ticket in order to be able to see all the games. So someone out there is going to smarten up and fix this problem. So the NFL is not intentionally killing the film industry, but it definitely is a factor in what's happening and why there are less shows that are greenlit and there's less work out there overall in the US, Canada, and the world. Knowing this, how does it make you feel? Let me know in the comments how this makes you feel, because not a lot of people are talking about these sports rights. And I think, we all love football. I get it, we're Americans, is the whole thing, but of course, American things gotta ruin things. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the coming years, but we're going to continue watching how this all unfolds in the next decade or so. I think the only thing that'll stop it is if they make it illegal to do online sports betting again, and that would definitely slow down a lot of things, because less skin in the game, less people will watch the game, and then more viewers will watch other things in sports. So that is it for now. I shall see you next time.